Hey guys, Flawless Deku here. How's it going? Back with another video. We're going to be doing something different today. We have a new series. We're going to be studying some matchups. Today we're going to be doing Guile. So this is going to be a new series. I want you guys to let me know what you think, your opinions. The idea is I want to give you guys the tools to improve at these matchups yourself. I'm going to show you how I approach these matchups and what I used to get better at them. We're going to start with Guile today, and by the end of this video, you should have a basic game plan and strategy. You also have some drills that you can go away and practice so that you can get better at neutral with Guile. And I'm also going to give you a review of some gameplay footage so that we can go over what I've taught you and see it applied in a real match, basically. But before that, if you like the content, please make sure you like and subscribe, and we're going to jump in. Also, this is Luke versus Guile, but a lot of these strategies are going to carry over and they're quite general. So even if you don't play Luke, a lot of this stuff will help you. The drills definitely you can practice with your character. It doesn't really matter. You can set up the exact same recordings that I show you, and then you can stop them with your character instead. You'll just have, slightly different buttons or whatever. Now, there are also some more nuanced things in the matchup where Luke kind of has a lot of anti-survival tech, some general stuff that will benefit people that don't play Luke, but there's also going to be, for the people that do play Luke, a lot of detailed advice and the intricacies of the matchup. So look forward to that as well. Okay, so we're going to start off with Guile. Now, Guile versus Luke. I think this matchup is actually one of Luke's harder matchups. I think Guile wins it slightly. Luke does have a lot of good options in this, especially with the EX Fireball buff. He got in season 2.5, and he got a buff recently as well in season 3, where you can now hit confirm it a bit easier, which is great for, say, if they show Sonic Boom, it's very easy to now confirm that, which is great, right? So that's good. EX Fireball is going to be very useful in this matchup. Also, the buff EX Overhead helps as well, just because it obviously has armor, so you can do stuff like this, obviously, and then it's safe even if they block. Just as a way to get in, especially in Burnout, that's very useful. Guile is going to be throwing Sonic Booms most of the time, right? So with the Sonic Boom, you want to walk forwards, you want to block, right, and then you want to try and parry. And the reason I say this is because if you walk forward and then just try and parry, if you mistime it, what will happen? Right, if I do it early, but if I do it late, I get hit by the boom, right? But if I walk forward, block, and then parry, see, if I miss the timing, I still block the boom, and then if I get the perfect parry, see? So that is very important in this matchup. And then, if you do get the perfect parry, you can also option select the jump in there as well, which is great. It is useful if you can walk forward and perfect parry, but this is a bit higher level, so... See, because it means that, like, if I walk through, it means I can literally just walk through the boom. But it is risky, because obviously that can happen, right? So that is something to bear in mind. The better you get at the timing with the perfect parries, and the more confidence you gain, then you can kind of start to try and implement that a bit more. But what I would suggest at first is really the safe approach is to walk forward, block, right, and then parry, right? And then when you get comfortable, then you can start trying to walk forward and perfect parry and walk through the booms and then, carry on. It's a very important part of the matchup. So we're going to have a drill specifically dedicated to learning how to combat the booms. So perfect parry timing, that kind of thing. That's something we're going to work in. And then now we need to think, okay, so he's throwing Sonic Booms, I'm walking forward, parrying, right? Okay, I'm trying to get in, gaining ground. Let's say that he's doing this, right? I'm just kind of inching in, right? Say he's trying to keep me out, and now when I get close to him, this is where Guile is going to want to start doing other stuff, right? So often what they'll do is they'll want to stop you approaching, so they'll use Sobat, right? Sobat or crouch medium kick, right? So this is kind of the game. The game is like you're walking through the booms, right? You're trying to get in, and he's gonna eventually have to stop you from approaching, right? And this is a good button to do that, right? So our whole game plan is going to be getting around the boom and then trying to get him to do that, right? So he's going to try and stop us walking forward, but we want to make him win. That's the idea, right? So we're going to try and walk forward and parry the booms, perfect parry if you can, right? So this is light boom, and then we can try and option select the jump in there as well. The jump doesn't come out if I don't get the perfect parry, right? But if I do it, then it does come out, right? So that's very useful tech because you can do the parry input, just tap up forwards, and then if you get the perfect parry, then you'll jump straight away, and because it's a boom trap, they think that they can throw another one and it's safe, but actually they can't because you perfect parried it. So that's very useful tech versus Guile. So anyway, as I was saying, so the first drill, we're going to want to practice walking in, parry, try and get the perfect one, right? try and get the perfect one. And there's different timings. This is light into hard boom, so just so you can get a bit of a different timing, right? And then just kind of practice trying to walk forward and not get hit, and trying to get as many perfect parries as you can, right? That's the first drill. Cool. Now the second one. Now this the way the strategy evolves. Like I said, he's going to want to stop us moving forward, so that means he's going to eventually start doing stuff like this, trying to use the Sobat as a way to control the space, right? And we want to be able to whip punish that. That's going to be our goal. That's a big part of this matchup, right? Is you have to be able to whip punish effectively when he gives you the opportunities, and then the idea is from there we want to take him to the corner, right? We want to go, so this is a good option as well, depending on where you are on the screen. Now we're in the corner, now we can make you guess. Now let's say he licks or flash kick, we block it, we win the round, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that's our win condition. We need to get him to the corner. How do we get him to the corner? Usually it's going to be off of a whiff punish. That's usually going to be, and it's either going to be this, yeah, Sobat, or oftentimes what they'll do is they'll use crouch medium kick, right? So it's the same thing again. We can set it up, you know, walk forward, crouch medium kick, right? That's a common thing they'll do, and you can then punish them for that. We're going to the corner. Time to guess, buddy. Okay, so that's kind of like how that works there. So that's kind of my strategy in general, is like kind of I want to walk through the boom, I want to perfect parry, try and option set some jumps in. I want to try and force him to whiff because I'm approaching, and as I get closer he has to do something to stop me from approaching. He's going to be pressing crouching, sometimes he'll press crouching, you know, medium punch, sometimes he's going to be pressing crouching medium kick, and sometimes Sobat, sometimes hard kick as well, right? But hard kick we have some options for, I'll go into a bit later, it's a bit more nuanced, but in general, the idea is we want to walk through the booms, approach, make him whiff punish, take him to the corner, and win the game. That's kind of my strategy versus Guile. Right, some other things that you do want to know about the matchup, for example, drive rush, crouch medium kick, this is used a lot from Guile's sides. This actually is minus, so one thing you don't want to be letting them get away with is them doing something like this, they do drive rush and then doing jab after. This isn't real, right? They're minus, so they're -1, so you can always contest this. What good Guile players will sometimes do is they'll then parry. But yeah, it is minus, so don't let them get away with that. Also in neutral, this move, it's got a lot of range, right? But it is -8. A good thing I like to do with this is to parry option selects, right? So I can see, you can kind of do it on reaction, right? So if I am out of range, if I'm in range I get perfect parry, but if not, I can get a punish counter, right? So we want to use, so you try perfect parry right there. So because I was in range, I get the perfect parry. But if I'm a bit further back, I want to be ready with the whiff punish, right? So we want to practice both of those. Yeah, and then see how I can just dash in afterwards? So it's an option select. So that's the idea. Very useful. I encourage to use it. If they're abusing that move, then you can kind of adjust your strategy and you can start trying to use that more, right? So if I see that there's a Guile and he's overly reliant on this move and he's using it to kind of check me, because the thing is, if I want to stay out of range of Sobat, right, or crouching medium kick, I'm staying just out of that range. This reaches, right? So Guiles, what they'll do is they'll use that, right, and they'll chip away at max range and kind of chip away your gauge, and it's kind of an annoying tactic. And it kind of, yeah, stuffs your, if you try and whiff punish, trying to whiff punish this, then you're in this range, right? So it's a useful move for him to use. So this is one of the ways you can deal with it. And then once you shut that move down, he's going to then go back to using more of this, and then that means that you can then start targeting those and with punishing those buttons, right? So that's kind of how the ground game works. Cool, something else I want to go over as well is that Luke does have some great anti-fireball tech in this matchup. So like I said, he does have this, so if he wants to throw sonic booms, this is very useful, and you can hit confirm into that. Also worth noting as well is that you do get a very good setup after this. Let's say, for example, we're here, we push into the corner, right? Then we're +4 in their face, so we can crouch medium, right? Cool, so that's useful, worth knowing. What else? Let's say as well versus the booms. You can do, especially if it's a light boom, super, very good option, reaches from very far. Yeah, see, if it's a light boom especially, the thing is, if he does a hard boom, then it's very hard to react to because it reaches in time. See how it will hit me, right? So it is kind of like if you know they're going to throw a light boom, or you have to do it very early like that. So it's still possible, right? But you have to react very quickly because otherwise it's onto you. Like this, it's never going to work, right? So you do have to be on point. However, the level 3, this is a great option, right? It works. You can do it a bit later as well. It works versus both. Right, and from quite far. Like, look how far away I am, right? See how that will work as well. See, which is great, perfect. You obviously have to be ready. You do have to be ready, but it is great anti-fireball, and I would use it often, right? If you really need comeback. Another good thing to do as well. This is a common thing from Guiles. Let's say you're at full screen, right? And then do something like this. So about this range. See, and then you can drive rush into, and then you can react when they do it. It is obviously tricky, you got to get the timing. But once you do, see, and then you have a lot of time to react. So yeah, that's pretty good tech. I use that often, and it often works. So I would recommend, especially let's say that they, as the Guile player, I don't know, they just like do something like EX flash kick. Now you're full screen. They're gonna go back to throwing solid booms, right? And you're like, oh fuck, like that. And then you can do something like that, and then you can win the game, right? So it is very useful. Yeah, you try and use this if you can. A few kind of Guile specific things that I want to go over. So for example, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just put him on all block quickly. Block all, right? So because we don't really want to be doing hard punch into hard sandblast versus Guile. The reason for that is because he very easily, and this will happen a lot if you play Guiles. Right, yes, so if you play a competent Guile, what will happen? Yeah, you're gonna get, I don't know how they managed to do this, he's literally standing, he still gets it. It's so funny. It looks so funny in training mode when that happens, but sure, okay. Right, but yeah, let's just to make it more lore accurate, I'm gonna have him crouch because it's bugging me out a little bit, to be honest. Right, cool, yeah? So what they're gonna do, if I do this, they're gonna flash kick. Right, that's very common. So what you can do is you can use a light one, right? Obviously it's a 2-string. This is what you should generally be doing anyway, just because we don't want people parrying in between, we don't want them flash kicking in between, deeping in between, and we want to take the drive gauge. See, it's almost 1 bar of chip, right, if we use that. So this is very useful, just to poke. When we want to, in neutral, we just want to chip away at the drive gauge, you know, just pepper them. It's a very useful tactic to use this, right? Cool. However, if we know for sure he's going to do this, and I've used this in a lot of places in matches at like clutch moments, where I know that he's going to EX thing, and I want to full punish it so that I can win the game, right? You can do this, right? This has armor. Now this is actually specific. I don't know why, because his flash gets actually 2 hits, but the armor, because he kind of ducks down, he absorbs 1, and it goes over him, right? And then we can get a full punish. So that means that we can do this. And we can go something like, you know, and get massive damage. But if we know for sure that he's going to do that, I've used this in you know, a lot of tournament games, a lot of, you know, very like times where like I haven't shown them that yet, and I know that they've been doing the flash kick, right? And a way that you can also tell if they're doing it is because you won't see it here, but let's say for example I do this into light, and I see that Guile stands up when he blocks the second one, right? If I see him switch block so that he goes from down, he's crouch blocking, and then he blocks the sandblast standing, I know he tried to input a flash kick there, right? So if I clock that when I'm playing, I'm like, okay, this guy is deep, he's doing that in between. Same as if I was to do this, if I do drive rush, crouch jab, and then Guile stands up when he blocks the crouch jab, then I know that he input the flash kick, and that means that I know, okay, so then he's doing the DPOS, and I can do something like this if I really wanted to. Or can I could do something like this now, right? And I get a full punish, and this literally can win you games. So very useful stuff. I recommend using it sparingly. Obviously, you don't want to overuse it, and you don't want to show it too early, I feel, because if you then it might not work later on. But it used timely, this can be a very, very, very rewarding tactic. Now, obviously worth noting, if they don't do the flash kick, what often will happen, obviously, if not, that will happen and you get grabbed if they don't do the flash kick. So it is obviously a hard read, and that's why it is to be used sparingly. However, used timely, I think it is very good. Yeah, so just a little disclaimer there. So I don't want you guys to be using it all of the time and thinking it's like, you know, I'm saying it is, if you know, and I've just told you there's a few tells that you can use to kind of assess, oh, okay, this guy's inputting flash kick here. Like I said, if you see him stand up in between the light sand part, or if you see him standing up here, then yeah, you can often, you know, go into this instead, and then it's gonna reward you with max damage. Like I said, use it sparingly, but good option to have. Also, just something cool I want to show you. This is a common scenario with Guile. So throw in the corner. Right, Sonic Boom. This is a common setup from Guile. Plus, he throws Sonic Boom and then he does a thing, right? So yeah, let's say he does this setup, throws Sonic Boom, level 2. We actually get a trade combo, which is kind of mad. Right, now the damage isn't spectacular, but it's just something cool. I thought I'd just include to show you guys. Yeah, so yeah, there you go, something cool that I just wanted to throw in. Now, one thing that we also have to learn to deal with is his drive rush. This is one thing. So if he does throw a Sonic Boom and then drive rush behind it, this is very common. Guile, he'll throw a Sonic Boom and they'll drive rush behind it, right? And what I want you to notice, if we're further back, right, then he's plus more. So it means that he can drive the better. That's a perfect distance for him to drive rush in afterwards, right? So you want to know that if he is at that distance, he's more likely to drive rush in. And the important thing is, if you get the perfect parry on the boom, it then means you can check the drive rush. If you don't get the perfect parry on the boom, then it means that you're probably going to have to guess to a degree. And what I like to do is, if I think he's going to do a crouching medium kick like this, then I would then try to perfect parry that, right? If I don't get the perfect parry, but if I get the perfect parry on the boom initially, then I'll try to check the drive rush, right? So you'll see it looks like something like this. So as you can see there, I missed it. So see, from there I got the perfect parry. As he comes in, I can press crouch strong and I can get a punish, right? Again, I got the perfect parry, right? So that's what we want to do, right? So you can see the boom. If we perfect parry it, then that means we can very easily then see the drive rush coming behind it and we can punish it, right? If we don't, we want to try and perfect parry the next part, because we don't have the frame advantage to try and do a... If we say, let's say for example here, we try and check. So we parry, and then check, we'll get counter hit, right? Because we didn't get the perfect parry. So, instead what you can do is you can try and do this, and you can get a perfect parry that way, right? So you can practice that, right? That's kind of the idea. See? So there I got the parry, so I can go for the check, I can... And it's kind of practicing, and then I got that, and then you can go into this as well, which is max damage. As a punish counter, because my crouching medium kick, because his crouching medium kick is minus quite a lot, you can actually get that. If you don't perfect parry it, then you want to try and then perfect parry the follow up. This one, like that, right? However, really what you want to be able to do is to perfect parry the initial boom and then try and check it like that, right? So that's kind of the idea here. Or let's just go through them each first individually. So I'm just going to show you each drill, right? So the first one, right, he's going to be throwing Sonic Booms, right? And we want to just practice 3 Sonic, there we go. He's going to just throw a bunch of Sonic Booms, and we want to try and practice perfect parrying them. They're mainly light ones, but we also throw in a few hard ones in there as well, I believe. And that's just to get our timing, right? That's what we want to do. Cool? Right, now next one, we have, again, he's throwing Sonic Booms, and then he whiffs, and we want to be able to whiff punish, right? And then we're taking his ass to the corner. That's what we want to do, okay? So we want to make sure that, because like we said before, that's kind of how he will stop us from approaching in the neutral. He's going to start pressing buttons, like so back. So we want to practice seeing those, seeing the whiff, and punishing it, right? So we need to be on point, and we need to be ready. So that's what we're trying to emulate here. Now we go here, He again boom, and this time he does crouch medium kick, right? This is slot 3, right? And then again, same thing. You want to be able to just, if you can, perfect parry, and you can see that, and you can whiff punish. Great. The next one, what have we got here? We've got a boom. He throws a boom, and he jumps. So we want to keep it kind of like, you know, he might just randomly jump at times, so we need to make sure we put that in there as well. Make sure our anti-airs are crisp. Just add to the mental stack a little bit. What we got here, this one as well is throwing more booms. So this one, he's going to throw a few booms, right? He's going to throw booms, and then he's going to drive rush, right? Now the idea with this one, like we said, if we perfect parry the boom before the drive rush, we want to check it. If we only parry it, then my goal is to try and then parry the follow-up, right? So here. Yeah, so there, if I got the perfect parry, I want to check it, right? And let's say, for example, that I don't. Then I want to get the follow-up, and I want to perfect parry that one instead, right? So it's kind of like on the fly, you're kind of simulating neutral, you want to try and punish them accordingly. Cool. Next one, right? Slot 6. We got more booms, and we got a hard kick. So I'm going to throw a hard kick in there. Now, what you can do for this one is you can use that option select that I mentioned earlier. This is great. So that means that if you're in range, you can try and perfect parry it like that. But if you're out of range, then you can then do the option select that I mentioned, something like this, right? And then you can get some punish. Right, so we're going to throw that in there as well, so that you can get a gist of that. Cool, so with this one, so he's going to throw the Sonic Boom, and then he's going to do the Sonic Blade, right? Now, this actually has a really vulnerable low hurt box, so it extends quite far forward by his feet. So you can actually sweep him from really far. So let's say he does this. See how far away I am? And I can sweep him. See? Out there it reaches, right? So we're just getting used to doing that if we see him. You can also use crouch medium kick like this, right? Which is great because then you can get a good punish. Right, so that's an option. So we're going to throw that one in there as well. And then number 8, the last one we got this, Sonic Boom, and then Drive Rush. And again, like I said, if you perfect parry the first one, you want to try to check it like that, right? And then if not, you can try and perfect parry the second one. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to turn them all on. And then we're going to basically just try and play Guile Simulator, Neutral Simulator, and see what happens. And we're going to get better, and we'll just see, we'll try and get as many perfect parries as we can. We can try to use the options to the parry option select like that there, in cases. We can also try to, so we want to try and speak that. See, we were a bit late, we didn't see it. That one we can punish, right? So you want to get used to everything, right? That we've got to try and check, right? So we've got to be ready for the drive rush as well. There, jump, right? But it all starts with the perfect parry. If we get the perfect parry on the boom, now we can see, and we can then try to, you know, punish whatever it is you're trying to do. That's what's important. So the more perfect parries you can get, the easier this matchup is going to become, because it means you have more time to react to his options, right? That's what's important. So we want to be looking if we can get that. See how now I have more time to move around, and I can then see what he's going to do, how he's going to follow up with the boom, right? That's important, right? See there, I just missed it, but I had a bit more time to see it, just because I've perfect parried it. Right there, see? Now I got the check. So, cool. There we go. Right, but you get the idea. So the idea is you can really get better at the perfect parry timing. Just be doing that, you know, for that amount of time, I could really start to calibrate and get better at perfect parrying the booms. The more booms you can perfect parry, the easier it is going to be to react to what he does after, whether it's drive rush, whether he does the Sonic Blade, whether it does the jumps, whatever he presses a button, whatever it is, practicing the perfect parry timing is going to help tremendously, right? Not only that, you also need to know what to do when you don't get the perfect parry. So sometimes you're not going to get it all the time, obviously. So sometimes you'll just get a normal parry, and then you can practice what you do after that, trying to parry the next follow-up, for example, trying to then still get the rhythm for you know, him whipping or what you can, and you can really like kind of play with it and get to grips with the matchup. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give you guys a tool so that you can actually just like really get a feel for the matchup outside of playing Guile, right? I wanted to show you me versus a Guile player. This is Hattori Hanzo. He's one of our premier Guile players in the UK. So let's just go into it. Now, you see, it starts by throwing booms. I try to get an early jump in there. So here I'm just trying to, there you go. If I ever throw EX, basically I'm predicting he's going to Sonic Boom. Like I said earlier, obviously EX5 was very good in this matchup. It's going to be very good for bypassing the Sonic Boom. If you think he's going to throw a Sonic Boom, you can do it, you can get a knockdown, and you can get in and you can win, which is great, right? Let's see. Alright, so I'm actually down quite a lot in health here. Right, just trying to... Oh, that was a bad fireball. Okay, this is actually an important thing to note. Watch, you see how he throws this? Right, so he throws this, I walk forward, and then I block, right? Or in this case, parry, right? And I want to reduce the frame advantage, so I'm moving into it, right? And then I parry. I try and get the perfect parry, obviously don't. He back fist here, obviously. He's +3. I take the grab, so that's obviously something in his favour, but managed to get out there. Nice perfect parry there from him. Nice. See how as I approach, he uses the Sobat? See, this is key. This time I block it, but that's what we're looking for, right? So we're just trying to inch our way in. Again, as we land, kind of checks us with the Sobat, right? We then take our turn with Stand Fierce, because we were in range there. Again, trying to get a read on these EX5 balls, but he's not biting, right? See, we're just trying to stay out of that Sobat range. Nice whiff punish there from him. Nice, we read the overheads. Didn't quite get the perfect parry on it though. Right, we're low on drive here. So now, this is important. When you're... The drive resources in this matchup are very important. So, I'm obviously low on drive, so I need to try and recoup some before I can mount my offense, right? So, it's important here that I try and get some perfect parries, right? Or I just avoid chip damage from the booms altogether. So, this is kind of part of the matchup where you have to play Mario a little bit, and you have to, you know, kind of navigate the booms. But it's all about maintaining my drive. I can see I'm just trying to get it back here. Even if I eat a boom, that's better than me blocking it because I need the drive really. And now I got a chance, right? I managed to stalk into the corner, right? If we see here, like, look how far. So we've managed to get him all the way from mid-screen. We've kind of gradually just worked up while trying to not burn out. Obviously, we are low on health here, but we have managed to get into the corner. And we've given ourselves a chance to win the game now because we got him in the corner. We're gonna get knocked down now. Mix up. Does he guess right? Nice, he blocks. Minus there. Okay, I go for broke here. I probably shouldn't burn myself out if I'm honest. I probably should try to instead. What would have been a better option is if I tried to hit confirm here into the target combo. So what I could have done is hit confirm. I could do the down fierce, and then I can still get a mix up. I keep my drive. Here I've gone for broke and I'm just trying to win the game outright. I do have him in the corner, so it's a risky strategy, but it's still, you know, it's still doable. So that's why I let to go for the safe jump here because I didn't want to risk, you know, getting flash kicked. I don't have the health to take it, so I wanted to just keep it safe. Go for the safe jump in this situation. Right, there, obviously gets the perfect parry. Can't really take any risks here. I could reversal if I think he's going to jab. He does jab, but I play it safe. I block. Defending in burnout is very important as well in this. Right, managed to get a good tech there. This is important. I know it's a very common after throw tech that Guiles, they like the Sonic Boom. That's kind of a thing. So I'm looking for it. You can see here I was buffering, right? So I get the Pro Tech, I buffer, you see, and then I buffer again. He waits a little bit, he throws a Sonic Boom, and because it's a light one, it means I had enough time for the thing. If it was a hard one, it might have reached me and hit me, but it was a light boom, so this will go through, right? Now I'm buffering again because I'm at a perfect distance here where I've thrown a hard shot, enticing him to throw a Sonic Boom afterwards, right? And I actually get DP, and that sucks because I would have went through the Sonic Boom again. Right, now this is another key point. Remember what I was talking about earlier, where you walk in and you block, just to reduce the frame advantage? Here, he has the whole screen, right? I'm doing burnout, I want to recover my gauge. What I'm doing is, while he's following it, I'm moving backwards, so that I can keep getting my gauge back, And now as he gets comfortable, my gauge is almost back. I walk forwards, and then I block. Why do I do that? Because now I've reduced the amount of frame advantage that he gets. But what it also means I'm in range now to react with level 1. See? So what I've created there, by moving back, I've managed to then block, and now I'm in a position where I can react with my level 1. I've got my gauge back, right? And that was just a perfect setup for him to throw a boom there. That's very, like a very... It felt like a safe time. He's full screen. I've just hit with a super. Okay, I block. I level 1. And then as he gets up, obviously he's full screen here. He's like, okay. And he kind of wants to get his thing started again. He's going to default back to zoning. I was just waiting for it. Obviously, I've got full drive at this point, so very easily confirmed with the EX Fireball, and he's dead. So you can see how that EX Fireball could be very useful in the match. His level 1 as well, very useful in the match. So yeah, he does have a lot of good anti-fireball tech, right? Nice. So we get started here. Uppercut, right? Yeah. Nice. Play it safe. Just make that. That's exactly what we were talking about, right? See how now I've conditioned him because of the last round, especially, right? Where I'm now, because I'm approaching, I'm forcing more whiffs. Right, so this is what we're trying to do, right? So we're trying to get through, navigate the boom game, uppercut, right? Just play it safe, go to neutral, and we're trying to force whiffs like this, right? And this is how we're going to win the game, because now he's in the corner, right? We get a mix-up, we get a lot of damage, we have a lot of drive, right? He there gets hit with the delayed jab, which is obviously that's safe to be flash kick as well, so that's why I went for that option. So delayed jab, if he flash kicks, I can block. I don't know what he went for there, but he got counter hit. Now we're going to shimmy, block the flash kick, and then that's dead. Right, GG's. So, one with punish, get to the corner, guesses twice, guessed wrong, he dies. That's kind of how this matchup goes, or it can go, right? So that's really your win condition. That's what we're trying to do. That's what I was explaining earlier, and that's kind of how you can see it in motion as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is a bit different. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you like this kind of format. Also let me know what other characters you want to see. Maybe you want to see Jamie, maybe you want to see me versus I don't know, Akuma. There could be, it's up to you guys. Let me know down below in the comments who you want to see next, and also what you think. And yeah, I appreciate you guys as always, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.